Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to focus on built-ins. If you don't know what a built-in is, it's basically the bookcases that surround a fireplace and mantel. If you're new around here, maybe don't know that much about me, I went to school for business, but after graduating decided to go back for an interior design degree. So I'm in the final stages of my degree where I am working on my internship. So my internship work that I was working on this week kind of inspired this video as well. I just bought a new house with my partner and we have been working on things around here. So I thought it would be fun to talk about different styles of built-ins, but also show you the design process for designing my own built-ins. So I'm going to start off by showing you a very classic built-in and then also show you different styles that are very popular right now, some key features to note in them in case you're designing your own or you want to kind of notice what I am going to put in mine. So the first one is by Studio McGee. I'm going to try and put all of the sources at the bottom of each photo, and then if you want the actual link to the photo in the description box, everything will be linked there. So the first one is a beautiful design. Something that is becoming very popular right now is having picture light. So that's the little tiny light that is above the bookcases. So in a lot of these photos that I'm going to show you, you are going to see that because it is very popular right now. So what is characteristic about this particular built-in and fireplace is that everything is one color. You can see it's all painted in a shade of white. The top half is all bookcases and the bottom half is cupboards. So you're going to see a different mix of what is happening at the bottom of these built-ins. What I have noticed is that there is no particular right or wrong for how tall your bottom cabinets should be and the spacing between your bookcases. I think it's very much a personal choice. I like to have the ability to adjust the shelves a few different spots. So I would say every shelf I would put 3 little holes so that you can move it up or down an inch. Also, I prefer to have the bottom shelf section to have more space so that you could put items that are more useful for you. One of my favorite examples is Jillian Harris. She has some blankets stacked at the bottom of hers. I also love having extra space at the top of bookcases because I find that those are not useful because you can't reach them. So I normally like to put a decorative item up there and not something that you're more likely to use. And decorative items are normally a little bit taller. So I always like an extra space at the top and at the bottom. The next example is a beautiful one that I've been considering for my own space. What I love about it is the arched top. So at the very top of the built-in bookcases, you can see that there is that arching detail, and that is something that I've seen more and more. It is absolutely stunning. Also, you can see there's a subtle tone difference between the color of the mantle, which is white, and then there's a subtle gray tone to the built-ins. You'll also notice that these built-ins have drawers below. So there's always a mix between people who choose to have drawers and people who choose to have cupboards. It's totally your own preference. Until I started designing these, I really didn't notice that a lot of them nowadays are being built as drawers. So this next one is stunning. I think this is more of a trend that is popular right now, but not as classic. However, it is stunning. So this is another photo by Studio McGee. They have some beautiful designs right now, and I'm sure more than 50% of the photos that I've picked today are by them. So these built-in bookcases are all wood. And you'll also note that they're all open shelves. There is no cabinetry at the bottom. Also notice that they do have the picture light because it is very popular, which the arched bookcases previously did not, but it wouldn't fit in that design as well because it would take away from the arch detailing. But in these ones, you've got the wood detailing in the bookcase, as well as you'll notice that there is a difference between the mantle color and the bookcase built-in detailing. This next one is also stunning. They are also done in wood. They've got drawers at the bottom of the cabinetry, and then they've got floating shelves. So it's less of a built-in look and more, I'd say, minimalistic. And they've also got the beautiful bookcase picture lighting at the top, but of course, due to the style of this built-in, these are attached to the wall, not mounted out on the built-in like the others were. They're more recessed, I would say. This is another stunning one that is in wood. So you can see the difference in this one from the previous one. This is all wood from the very top where the picture light is mounted. There's cupboards at the bottom and it all flows, but again, the built-ins are a different color than the mantle. And I think that this style is a little bit more flexible than the previous style, because while the wood color is very trendy right now, you could always go back in a few years and paint it if you changed your mind, but it is stunning. This built-in is another beauty. So this one is a mix of white and wood. So you can see that the upper shelving is all in wood with wood back. And then the drawers below are in white. So it has a two-tone color. And then there's also the picture lights above, which again are mounted out in comparison to that other image where they were pushed back against the wall. This is another example of what some people do. I wouldn't necessarily call this built-ins, but I wanted to highlight it because it is an option for putting either sides of your mantle. So these are freestanding bookcases. This one has enclosed cabinetry, which some people would say is very handy because you don't have to dust your shelves that often. And there's also that two-tone of the cabinetry being in wood and then the mantle being in white. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is placement of TV, because a lot of people love having their TV on their mantle, but depending on your space, that doesn't always work, because that does not work in my space. So you want your TV to be mounted at a comfortable height. You don't want to be straining your neck when you're watching TV. So this is a great example from Rachel Parcell. You may follow her on Instagram. The designers of her home did a beautiful job. So you can see in this image that the TV is mounted off to the side in the built-ins rather than above the fireplace, and they've got a beautiful mirror above the fireplace. This is what we will likely do because our living room is smaller. We don't have enough space to sit far enough back from the TV to watch it at such a height. So I think this is a great example. The other one I want to show you is where someone has mounted their TV above the fireplace. If you don't know what a frame TV is, that is what is in this picture. So it's a TV where when it's turned off, it looks like a piece of art. They are beautiful. They are so popular. We have one. It was the first time that I ever begged my partner to buy a TV. So I think that these work really great above a fireplace because it doesn't look like a piece of technology. It looks like art. So when you're entertaining, it's not a big black box on the wall. But I also just wanted to show you an example of where a TV was mounted on top of a fireplace. So now I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour of our living room and talk about the design process. I'm going to actually walk you through how I designed ours, which I did specifically for this video after I was inspired by the internship task that I had to do. I'm not 100% sure that we will do built-ins. I've always wanted to. Whenever we looked at homes, that was something that was on my list of things that I wanted to make sure there was a space so that I could do built-ins. So I'm going to quickly show you that, and then I will talk you through the time lapse of me designing the bookcase. And then I also thought it would be cool to show you how I envision a space and make it look more realistic, so it's not just staring at lines. It looks like it actually could just be a picture. So here is our living room. We've only lived here about 2 months, and we live in an old Victorian house, so our living room is quite narrow. So if you haven't seen my other videos, we are planning to put a sectional right here because our mantle and fire is not centered on this wall. So there is more space over here, so it just functionally makes more sense to have a seating area over here so that we can watch TV. So I'm thinking of putting the built-ins either side of the fireplace and then the mantle. And I'm going to show you 2 different designs that I made for the built-ins, but because we have this beautiful arched window, one of the designs does feature that arched detail. Starting off, I drew the bump out as well as the existing fireplace dimensions. The hearth is the black part of our fireplace, which will remain when we redo the fireplace, but I really want to change out the mantle but don't want to ruin the existing one. I'll likely put it in another room as a decorative item, so I wanted to detail out what I was thinking for the new fireplace mantle. This new one is largely inspired by the Studio McGee picture that I shared at the beginning of this video. After I got those dimensions in, I measured the walls surrounding my fireplace and drew those in so I knew what I was working with for the built-ins. From there, I added the crown molding and baseboard, and then our walls have this decorative detailing on the edges and corners, so I wanted to make sure I included that because I think it's really pretty and I don't want to cover it up. Then I added a spot where I was allocating the curtain pushback to, which I figured would be about 10 inches. I don't want to crowd it and I don't want it to look smushed. Then I added in our frame TV. I wanted to make sure that our existing TV fits, but I also wanted to make sure that in the future, if we did purchase a new TV, that it would also still fit in the built-ins. So you can see in this first design that I decided to go with an arched top, but later on you'll see that I also did another version. So I started by drawing the top part, and because they're not symmetrical, one side is obviously bigger than the other. I detailed out the cabinets at the bottom of the built-ins. I decided to go with cupboards in this one, but I can always change it in the future to drawers, but I thought this would give a good idea of what I was thinking. You can see I'm adding shaker style and then adding my shelving. And you can see in this version, I have taken out the arch detail at the top and added in a picture light. So from here, I exported the file and now I'm going to pull it into Photoshop. I have not used Photoshop in forever, but I thought it would be fun to show you how I'll dream up this space. So I took samples of paint from Google Images, so you can see the colors, and then I just eyedropper tooled them in so that I could make sure that the built-ins were white, but then the walls were the white dove color that my walls are right now. And then I added in an actual frame TV and put in a little bit of art. You can see I haven't used Photoshop in a while because I was definitely struggling here. But I added in a picture of our hearth with some new tile which is not existing, and then I added in some shadows so that it made this look a little more realistic and more three-dimensional. Once I figured out the shadowing, I added a mirror above the fireplace. You can see I was fiddling with different styles, but that's what's so great about this, is that you can change different things up to see how they look. Then I added in curtains off to the side just so I understood how that would look, and then I started to add decorative items. I started by just adding them off all to the side, removing the white background, and then once I've finished pulling in all of these items, I'll start to place them on the shelves and play around with them a little bit to just give a more realistic look of how the built-ins would be in my own space. All right, guys, I hope you really enjoyed that video. I hope it was educational, but also just interesting, so you can see how designers behind the scenes work on something and make it come to life. I'm going to try to do more videos like this, so every Wednesday, hopefully I will have a new video based on something design-wise, and then Sundays I always put out a vlog. So if you're new here and you like this video, I'd really appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up and hit the little subscribe button so that you can come back next time for when I post a video. Thanks, guys.